I don't know if that was quick enough. Let's try that again.
I was right on. What are you talking about?
Let's try it again, just in case.
Well, you still have the click. That's all you need, man.
I know, but how were they close enough? Okay, that's good. We're good. Whatever.
Dude,
you know what?
The whole point of the clap is so you can make them exactly, and all you got to do is look at them. We don't have to be exact because I'm sending you something that you're lining up. So it doesn't matter if we're exact.
So, this is what this is. Welcome to Murder Moose, guys. We're just giving you a little insight into what this is when we start this shit show. But so we clap at the beginning because we're both recording individual tracks, and then we're lining them up. And I line them up. And I guess I'm ridiculous with it sometimes, and I've made Josh lose his goddamn mind. So we are here. We're Murder Moose. We are part of the Slash and Cast podcast network. How you doing, Josh? Let me rephrase that. I'm gonna talk for a second, and then gonna let you get back to that, and we'll because I think you're not breathing properly at this moment.
Oh my god,
that's so how you doing, buddy?
Really good, dude. I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm so glad because I have just got so ridiculously busy in my life over the last month and a bit. And I'm so glad that this is now something that is scheduled into my life because I wouldn't fucking do it at all if it wasn't right now. Yeah. And it is so refreshing to force myself to watch bucket list fucking movies. This is the coolest thing. I'm doing a lot of cool things, and I'm so glad that I'm here doing this with you, man. That's how I'm fucking feeling. Feels good.
Dude, I love it, and I have a blast with it. And I keep hearing we're still growing. I mean, we're babies basically with this, right? With this podcast. I mean, you and I have both done stuff over time, but
I don't even care if it was an actual thing going out. Just the fact that you and I are here talking about a movie. This is fucking cool and fun.
Dude, it's a blast, and it's so I know you and I have a similar thing where we can sometimes get our wives to watch horror with us, and
it's the start of the movie, and then where did they go?
I talked about it a while back, but my wife came in halfway through The Lodge. when I was watching it, and saw all the really fucked up shit about it, and so that was kind of one of those things, and
that's just one of those movies that the tone just drags you through. Well, I would say drags you through the mud, but it's dragging you through the snow the entire time.
Yeah.
But just slowly, and it's just
well, dude.
Ugh.
And it doesn't even do that, because it does that, but it starts off
but that feeling, right?
Yeah.
It
starts off with that
face.
It doesn't punch you in the face. It hangs you by your head and then uses your dick as a speed bag. It's and it's
just like that.
Just like that. And I mean not a kinky way you want it. It's no, your dick is gonna hurt after this happens, but so that's what it is. But it's so good because we're in the podcast network Discord, and there's a bunch of guys. Which it's funny because a lot of them are really a lot younger than us, but and they're all obsessed with Warzone right now. And was playing a little bit with Brian. And
I still haven't booted it up. You want a fucking Warzone tonight? Or no, you're going to
bed.
Not
tonight.
You're going to bed.
I want to go to bed after we record, dude. I don't stay up. I get up at 6:00 in the morning.
I've been developing deep web develop mode, man. Deep. And I'm my head is fried right now, and I have so many tabs open on my computer that I just want to close it and open up Warzone tonight. I think I think it's gonna happen.
Take some time off and do it. The whole Halloween event's pretty cool. I'm playing with all the podcast network guys like Brian and Bailey, and they're both running around as Leatherface. It's me just running around as it's a normal dude.
Yeah.
Just a normal army dude. And they're Leatherface, which looks awesome.
Do you have to buy it? Or
yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I think it's $20 for the Leatherface shit. And the biggest problem I have with it is his face is the same color as a sheet of paper. It's so white instead of pink, and I wonder if that's because it's I think the game's teen rated, right? And so maybe that's why. So they like want to do it. I don't know. It's a little weird with that, but he looks pretty good otherwise. He's not Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 looking good, but he's pretty good. So
I'm gonna have to check it out.
yeah, it's pretty fun. Is besides our movie for tonight, which we're gonna talk about, we're talking about Train to Busan. Have you watched anything else cool in the last week?
Yeah. I finally checked out the new Child's Play remake. They fucked up like Chucky so bad. Like he looks like a guy's fucking balls. Like his face just looks like a fucking a guy's balls. Like seriously, it's the worst puppet, worst looking thing ever. But the movie itself was fucking good, man. Like the package that they wrapped that movie in, like it was just satirical the entire time. No one fucking cared about anything. It was like, but like perfect casting, of course, with I think
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, well, like the voice was perfect for Chucky.
Yeah,
but dude, like some good gags in it, and like the lighting in that movie was phenomenal the entire time, dude.
Yeah,
it was over the top, but I liked it.
I think that movie would have worked better, and I liked it, but I think if it wasn't a Child's Play movie, it would have been an even better ride, because one, you're not taking it and comparing it the whole time. You're not sitting there going,
because they fucked it up bad, like in the like the worst way. Like they like when they redid like Freddy and got his, like you can't, like everyone's gonna be like, that's not Robert Englund's nose. That's not, like he's not a mask. Like Freddy is a guy, like, and like Robert Englund pretty much is Freddy. He created this like perfect character, and you can't emulate that. Like it's something that's probably, I don't know, man. Like that's gonna be a hard one because it's not just a mask, right? Like I don't know.
Well, it's the thing is, that movie, there's so many differences, like, and if you don't know, it's not a huge spoiler, but Chucky in the new movie is just a AI gone wrong. Like he's made a sweatshop.
I like that they updated it because it fit in so well to like my house. I have like a smart home with Google's things everywhere and stuff. So like it's scary to us on a whole nother level, and makes us really like look around in our house and stuff, right?
But that's not my point with that. Is it's that, and that's why I made my original point, was that like that movie, if it would have not started with the Child's Play thing and like just a killer doll that like was similar to Chucky but wasn't Chucky, I think it might have gone a little smoother, because it bounces off of the voodoo thing, and
I guess all the parts of the movie that worked were the not so Chucky parts of it, because that was like the story was good, but it could have just been like you said, generic killer doll.
And they could have done a lot, but there's a lot to like. I love Aubrey Plaza. Is it Aubrey, right? Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, she's so perfectly cast. That's what I was gonna say for her.
Yeah, I love her. The little kid in the movie is awesome.
He was wicked in it too. Like he could like tears on demand or something, because he was just like crying in every second scene.
Yeah, he's really good, and there's some pretty brutal deaths in that movie. Like
that's why I liked it, man.
Yeah.
If there's good gags, like, and they're filmed well too, like, sign me up. That's a good movie.
The fucking pedophile creepo who falls in the saw, like that guy deserved every second of that psychopath. And then the boyfriend, he got it pretty good, and he deserved it pretty good. So I always like when they make like characters that you don't like them, even if they're not around that long, and then they give them real satisfying deaths. Or like, I kind of go back to, I talk about Friday 7 all the time, I feel like at this point, but the psychiatrist, when he gets it in that movie, is like, you're like, yes, kill that fucker. But like,
but that's really, when you've gotten to a point where Halloween has paved the path, and then there's 7 movies or 6 movies before it So now they're like,
Yeah.
okay, we know this formula. What does the
Yeah.
audience want? Let's fucking give it to them. And that's why they
Yeah.
just like, they ramp it up. They give you more. They
Yeah.
really think about how to show it and like really ramp it up. It's like, okay, they did this, the bar set, guys. We got to do it better, you know, like, and it's
Yeah.
not always done that well because back then they were just, they were giving out the rights to movies. They're like, yeah, whatever. Here you go. Make
Yeah.
another one. They're making
Yeah.
tons of money. So it gets in
Yeah.
the wrong hands and they don't care about the characters so much as just killing people. You get shitty stories that go ridiculous directions, but good kills sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I watched last night or 2 nights ago. I watched Love and Monsters, and that movie was fantastic. I think I watched it
gotta check
Monday
it
night.
out.
Yeah, and it was really, really good. It was the kid from the Maze Runner movies. The main character from that is in it, and then Michael Rooker's in it a little bit, and then the girlfriend, love interest in the movie is the Asian actress from Underwater, the second character that was in like most of Underwater. Did you see Underwater?
Oh no, I haven't seen Underwater. That's the wait
With
what is it?
Kirsten Stewart and
Oh no, I haven't watched that yet.
yeah,
That's
you
another
should watch it.
one on my list.
It's short, it's satisfying for PG-13 horror, and I thought it got shit on by critics real bad. It was like in the 40s or something like that. And I'm like, why? It's entertaining. It's to the point. But yeah. So yeah, Love and Monsters was real good. I liked it a whole lot. Actually, probably one of my favorite movies that like was supposed to be like a big theater movie this year. It's got a lot of heart, and it's got
It was
cool
supposed
monsters.
to be a big theater?
I think so, because it's one of those ones where it's like, oh, it's $20 to rent it online, and then
okay.
like $25 to own it. So
Yeah.
it's like doing the same price model as all those other movies that were supposed to come out.
Oh, so we're just in the new age of this is the new expectation, I guess, eh?
Yeah, basically. So like you can go rent it on Amazon or iTunes and shit like that. But it was a lot of fun, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Yes. Okay, that's cool. I call those ones accessible horror because then it's easy to slide in
Yeah.
front of the wife and yeah, cool.
It's-
but it's like in the genre that we want and love.
Yeah.
And just like,
It's almost like kind of compared to things like the horror action movies of the 80s, kind of like things where with like like actually I think you can really kind of compare it to something like Zombieland, just with like
Nice.
a PG-13 kind
Perfect.
of tone to it
I
instead
love
of the
those
art.
type of movies though.
Yeah, but
They're
where
like
it's like
popcorn horror.
yeah, or it's an action movie or something, or a romantic comedy that has horror elements to it, right? That is like that you could sit there and enjoy it, and then like your wife, like I watched it with my wife. I think your wife would love it too.
Sure.
Can enjoy it too. So you're both happy, and it's a good time. So I would check it out if you're interested. If you've seen trailers, if not, go check out a trailer for it.
I don't
It
even
was really good.
I don't know what happened to me. Like actually, since I started like streaming, I just like am into people's streams and stuff, right? Like just
Yeah.
that's the type of stuff that I watch, and then I watch movies. And I used to be so obsessed with trailer and trailer culture and like
Yeah.
being in the know, and I got like so behind on being the guy that knew everything that was coming out and everything
Yeah.
that I started going into movies blind for the first
Yeah.
time in fucking like decades, dude. Like for
Yeah.
like I don't even remember. Like I was obsessed for so long, but now I'm like trying this new thing where I'm just like avoiding trailers at all cost, just so I
Yeah.
can go into more movies not knowing anything. It's so weird watching movies like that because you
Yeah.
are the literal audience that the creator of the movie wants. Like you're on the journey and you don't know the plot points. I don't even read a synopsis. It's just like that poster's cool. I'm watching it. Like that's how I'm living my life now. Yeah.
We talked about it last week with I Saw the Devil, right? Where you were like, I didn't even read the synopsis before I got into it, and which I thought makes a big thing, and it makes that like you're
The
completely
first, yeah.
trying to. Yeah, you just dropped into it like feet like head first, and you're like,
That's how I
let's
live
go,
my life now,
motherfucker.
man.
Well, dude, it's trailers are. I mean, we all know it, but trailers can spoil a whole lot, and
Especially
it's,
with like I don't know, like I see the package that they use, like, and
Yeah.
I've seen like memes edited like that. This is how the summer blockbuster trailer will go, boom boom boom, and it's just
Yeah.
black screens and words on it, but it's like, whoa, I want to see that movie. Wait, I didn't watch a movie. They just know the formula that
Yeah.
gets you hyped on a movie, and people are using that exact same edited formula package for their trailers to make movies that aren't even supposed to be like put out to the world in that way, making the movie seem like a different movie, and then you go in and it's totally not.
dude.
Like, because you can edit a trailer and make it like
So this just reminds me, and I kind of want to think of this is a tangent as Josh and I do sometimes. There's a movie that this made me think of.
Not even on to the main movie.
What the fuck? So there's a movie Anne Hathaway was in a while back.
Yeah.
Called, what the fuck was the name of that movie? I'm looking. With the monsters. Oh, Colossal. Did you ever see Colossal?
Yes, I saw it in theaters, dude. That was fucking great.
That movie, if you've never seen it, they sold it as a giant monster movie, like in trailers. And it was a movie about abusive relationships.
Yeah, like being an alcoholic and like
and how to get out of like that kind of thing. And there were monsters in the movie, but that wasn't the point of the movie. And it just makes me think, because you talk about trailers and what they do.
That was a big misstep on their marketing team.
Yeah, and I just watched Chris Stuckman's review of Jennifer's Body that he just put out, and another one that like got shit on by critics because they completely sold it as, we're gonna sell this movie to 14-year-old horny boys who want to fuck Megan Fox, and not the movie that it was, which is a really good movie if you've never seen it.
Well written, very well written movie.
I mean, it's the what's their
name? The dialogue in that movie is so perfect for that universe and those characters. Like, it was, I don't know. Like, wait, who wrote that? I think
the one who did Juno,
right? Yeah.
Diablo something.
She's got a cool tone. I love her tone that she writes in. All her characters are just so, like, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, and you're talking about it, and it's just, I think it's a whole extension of what we're talking about here, how trailers can do something. Real quick with Love and Monsters, there's a thing in the trailer that is so deep in the movie that you're like, after you see it, like, you're like, fuck, man, why is this, like, when you start showing shit from like the third act in trailers, I feel it's like
there was that type of stuff.
In Love and Monsters there was that.
Actually, when I saw I think I did see the trailer for Train to Busan like a few times, or I probably just saw like people talk about it because this movie came out a little while ago.
2016, yeah.
Okay, but like, this is just a movie that's been praised by everybody, which I understand now why.
Yeah. Let's dive into it. Yeah, so we are talking about Train to Busan this week. It is a 2016 South Korean movie directed by Sang-ho Yeon, I think his name is. None of the guys that were in I Saw the Devils, like, it wasn't like any of the big guys from that movie were in this one. But it is it's a pretty simple premise where it involves a father taking his daughter to visit her mother, and
baby mama,
baby mama, who left him because he's this soulless businessman who doesn't care about anyone else besides himself. And so she leaves him and moves to Busan, and it's the little girl's birthday, and all she wants is to go to Busan and see her mom. And while this is happening, a zombie outbreak breaks out, and it gets on the train with them. So it's this claustrophobic zombie piece that is. It's not the most original premise. Like, I mean, you've played or watched zombie things similar in this kind of vein before. I know I have. But
The
man,
story and how it unfolds and the characters all reminded me of like it just felt like a video game, like Dead
yeah,
Rising or something. Like, but
yeah,
you're rooting for the specific characters that end up making it further on throughout the movie, like
yeah,
you would a video game. It's like, oh, next
yeah,
final match type thing, right?
yeah,
But these,
yeah,
okay. But before we do that, I guess I'll read the synopsis
yeah.
before. Okay, the synopsis of Train to Busan. Busan?
Busan, I think is what it is.
While
But
a zombie virus breaks out in South Korea, passengers struggle to survive on the train from Seoul to Busan. Busan.
yes, I mean, it's a
That's it.
line and a half of text to describe it, and
And there's honestly not there's not very much dialogue in this movie at all either. And there's
no,
so many drawn out,
yeah,
insanely long pauses that shouldn't be there. I know it's to add tension, but like
yeah,
there's like adding tension, and then there's just like it was Kissy. This movie got Kissy, like she was like, "Holy
yeah,
crap! Like this is
yeah,
whoa!" And like got her involved. She was like, "What the hell is going on with these insane? Get out of there!
yeah,
Get out
yeah.
of there!" But it worked.
Dude, yeah. So I mean, we'll talk about it and review it again. We're not gonna spoil the movie right yet. Like, let's just go over it and like we got the plot, the synopsis from IMDb. Um, I mean, on top of that, it is just really well done. This is a zombie movie, really well done. It is acted really well. It is shot beautifully, especially for these like really tight spaces for most of the movie in this train. Um, the music is amazing. And they do a thing that I think is better for zombie movies, especially nowadays. They have running zombies. Running zombies are always scarier to me
Is
than
honestly
the
the
slow
like
zombies.
we were doing like a poll, of like I don't know, like uh, a feeling like you're gonna make it out in the different universes that I've seen over the years. Like Zombieland, you're pretty fucked, but
Yeah,
there's still a chance. Like The Walking Dead, you piece of fucking cake. They're so slow. Like you can just like
yeah.
they're dumb
The
as fuck
the
in The Walking Dead.
the
In
the,
this
the bad
universe,
guys that yeah.
you're
The bad guys in Walking Dead aren't the zombies.
yeah
They're
the other people.
the humans, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but the I'm talking like if this is the zombie outbreak that ends up actually happening, we're all fucking dead. Like
Yeah.
100% give up
Yeah.
now. You are
Yeah.
not gonna make it. There is no fucking hope.
Yeah.
Just kill yourself. Like that
It's
is the level
yeah.
of these fucking zombies. It is oh my and they mixed it so well because like the running zombies in World War Z are all CGI and you can tell and it looks like shit. These zombies, it's a mix. They did this hybrid thing where they're so vicious and so like and it's so well done. And then they add just little bits of CGI to like their arms or something or like a weird crick, but it's done so fast and so well that it adds just a perfect creepy CGI factor that is it actually adds to it instead of taking away, which I feel CGI does more and more these days.
So they have like most of this movie takes place on trains, but they do have sequences where they get off the train, and then this is where they use that CGI zombie thing, where they can make it. It's the swarming aspect of it, and that's like I think that's the best aspect of it because you can't. It would be impossible to have like 1,000 actors dressed up like zombies running full speed after people and not have it like be completely overly budgeted or whatever.
This
or
movie
like
was beautifully shot.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It's a pretty movie. My favorite, the scene that makes me laugh, and it might be my favorite scene, like my favorite zombie scene in the movie. There's characters trying to get back onto the train, and there's a zombie running at him whose arm is like behind his head, funny.
Yeah.
Like it's all like, and he's like running at him with his arms jacked
Busted
behind his
arm.
head, funny. It's
Zombie is gnarly. That's what I said. I was like, oh no, busted arm zombie's so gnarly.
And the scenes that they do that, they go full World War Z, like you're talking. I've never even actually seen World War Z because I'm like, and the PG-13 zombies and
no, dude, like see it for like just. I love that movie for how the wides, because they go like that. You said you like those zoom outs. Like I didn't like what they did with the zombies. Like they all turn into the exact same. It was like, okay, for our CG budget, we can add 1 million zombies, but they all have to look the exact same. It's like, come on, guys. Why are they the exact same model, just duplicated? Like, that's lazy. Like, you can make zombies look different, like they did in this one. But the horde, like, I think they came up with, like, a new, like, particle system or something for that movie, because it was, like, insane what they were... It looked cool.
The most famous scene for that movie is the like zombies like climbing on each other to get up the giant wall, like at some point in that movie. And I mean, I say that because I've never seen the movie, but I know that scene because I've seen that scene specifically.
And it's in the poster where they're like, they're like piling on top of each other to get up to a helicopter.
And they do that in this movie, but I think
in
better
a smaller scale. It's more realistic.
They do it in a couple times where they just like they all like
they become like
into
a wave. Almost. But I feel like this movie got the physics done better because like they piled up but then like fell because of physics.
They're breaking things and then falling, and it's just like you're going, oh shit, man, this is horrifying because they fall and then they get up and they're just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna eat your fucking face now.
I liked the rules that they came, like there's so many things that they came up with that were really cool and unique to these zombies. Like in the dark, all of a sudden they couldn't see, and there's like lights on the side when they're in tunnels. Like that stuff was so unique to these zombies, and I love that. Like if you're gonna make a zombie movie, well, and like I just said before, there's an insane formula that has been created, and it's done so masterfully over at Walking Dead that like if anyone's ever gonna attempt to do anything in this genre anymore, you gotta fucking bring it in a half, because Greg Nicotero is like the best in the world at practical special effects, and he is just at the helm of Walking Dead. So you are going against a Goliath now. Like they're like essentially Disney of zombies now. They have a monopoly almost over the whole genre. So if you're gonna do something, it's gotta be, you gotta do, this is is it right here. This is it.
And I think that the setting of the train for most of the movie enables them to focus like on that limited cast of zombies, but they're still like horrifying because they're filling up train cars, and this movie actually, I think, horrifies me more this time I saw it than the last time I saw it because COVID. This movie
totally
has characters that you're sitting there going, these are the people you see at Walmart or out in public that aren't wearing their masks properly. And you're like, this is so like and not far off.
The other thing, sorry, I'm just
man, you're good.
The other thing that they got completely right in this movie was the character like pack mentality. Like when they get split off for like not even that long, but she's like, oh, my best friend is still alive, but they're 6 cars down, and like that whole like that Trumper guy who's just like, I vote that fucking asshole.
It is. We'll talk about him when we spoil it, but he might be my least favorite character in any movie ever of all time. I hate that guy so much. He's so bad.
He's so bad. That's why I
So
call
like,
him the Trumper.
yeah, they have characters have names, but like you don't really like. Besides
It doesn't matter.
the main character's daughter, she kind of gets like talked to, but most of the time it's just the characters they run into on the train and what happens with them. This movie is also, it does something also that I'm happy about. It goes, if something like this actually happened, it would not be, most of the people aren't going to survive here, which is I always appreciate in this kind of movie, because like when you have a
But
zombie
there's a
apocalypse
second
and
one,
everyone
and
escapes.
there's a second one, and we got to watch it now. So
Yeah, we'll watch that either next week or soon. I don't know if we do it because I don't know how out there that movie is yet. So we'll figure it out. Though.
Like in not long.
I don't know when it's released. Released is what I meant. You know what I mean?
Oh, so this episode right now is going to be our Halloween episode, I guess.
Yeah, this is our Halloween episode, so we're celebrating spooky times with this movie, and I think this is a wonderful
and timely too.
Yeah. Oh, it's COVID makes this
really
movie horrifying.
ramps it up, man. Yeah, like you were saying. Sorry.
Yeah.
I cut you off again.
So this movie, it's got like a 7.6 on IMDb. It's real good. I think someone from the network, we were talking about it, and they were talking about
like it's got a 98% or something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Can you even?
You know what is weird about it too? I don't think they kill like a single zombie the entire movie.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, maybe in like the mass explosions in the background, but like not like none of the characters
vicious,
in
but
this.
That's how I think actual people. If something turned us and we like, this is how vicious people would be if they.
Yeah.
Maybe
some of there's a baseball team that's on the train that maybe they killed someone, like some of the zombies, by hitting them with baseball bats. But yeah, I don't know about that. Anything else around that?
Yeah, no one shot for the head either, or were hitting the
There
head.
weren't many guns in it either, though. Like you have guns at the train stop at one point, but
that last scene too.
So, if you like zombies, you like real intense things, you like beautifully shot movies, check this movie out. And then we're gonna spoil the shit out of it. But no, it's like on Amazon Prime. It's out there. It's not hard to find. It's 4 years old. So, and the sequel's out, and there's a animated prequel which I haven't watched yet, which I was going to, and then life happened. So, which is on Shudder. So if you want to watch that, it's like an animated prequel to this also. So
this team is just so good.
Yeah. They did a really good job. I don't really like, I grew up with Romero stuff, and then like all his stuff with like the new stuff was mediocre at best. Like that found footage zombie movie George Romero made, kind of made me sad deep down in my heart.
Which
because
one was
that
it?
movie, it was one of the Dead movies that I think it might have been the last zombie movie that Romero made, where it was like found footage zombies.
Oh yeah,
and it was real not good.
I don't think it was. It was just kind of like a kick in. It was like a kick in the bucket. It felt like, because I loved Land of the Dead, because he was making. It felt like he was the guy sitting at the top of the tower in that movie, just like, I'm up here, George A. Romero, and it's like, you know what? I make the rules. Zombies are getting fucking smart again. Boom. Yep. And I was like, cool, man. If anyone can do it, you can do it. And I accept that. I think that's kind of fun and cool. And it was like kind of cutesy, but I felt like that was a fun fucking movie. I don't know.
Yeah, the scene where the zombies walking across the river or whatever is wonderful. Like, it's a wonderful movie. The scene. I mean, I like that movie. It's not great, but I like it. So, okay, yeah. So if you like zombie movies, go watch it. So we're gonna go a spoiler thing here. This movie, it starts off, and when we talked about it, the main character, he's a shithead. Or actually, let's talk about it. So this guy is like a farmer or something. He's driving, and he goes into some like quarantine zone or something like that, and runs this deer over because he's trying to answer his cell phone. And he's like, oh shit. And he gets out and he's like, oh, well, my truck's not fucked up, I guess, so I'm gonna drive away because it was a deer, and after he's driven away, the deer gets up and has these like glazed over, glossy eyes, and you're like, oh shit, that's not good.
Murder,
So
deer.
yeah, you go. I mean, where did this come from? But you don't know, and they kind of talk about it in the movie, and it's one of those weird things where they kind of make you think that the main character is responsible somehow, and I'm not quite sure how they did it, but
But I like that they showed that first, because then it's setting up rules outside of other zombie movies, because other zombie movies show animals not becoming zombies. And it's like, are animals like in other movies not? So this shows that we're all fucked. Just kill yourself. The deers are even fucking zombies.
Yeah. I mean, there's no real like certified zombie kills in this movie. So you don't even know the rules. Like, you don't know the rules. You don't know if it's like Resident Evil where you could shoot them in the chest a couple times and they die, or you need to separate the brain from the spinal cord, like most zombie things. You don't know because they don't kill any of them.
Look at the poster to the movie. There's just a whole bunch of people running. There's like helicopters dropping bomb. Like, that's a fucking movie. It's just insane.
Dude, that is actually one of my favorite shots in the whole movie. There's a shot like right when the zombie outbreak's happening, and there's like these kids like skateboarding, and a helicopter goes overhead, and there's just zombies fucking raining down on them who were trying to swarm the helicopter.
Or when they're getting dragged by the train and they start chain linking and all getting dragged. I'm like, this movie is doing... I'm getting amazed and then getting amazed again. And then it's going to... Even just like the small... Well, I was gushing over the small details in the small spaces where they were mixing CG and normal effects and stuff, but the spectacle things that they did in this movie too, they weren't cheesy, they were well done and still like, holy crap, spectacle type stuff. So it was cool.
Well, we'll talk about it in a second, but when the zombie thing actually happens on the train, it's an awesome reveal. So then we go to our main character, who is he's like a Wall Street guy, but in Korea. Like, he's this scumbag, like, stockbroker who is like, he's like reassuring some guy on the phone not to sell stock. And then he gets his assistant. He's like, sell all the stock. He's like, just fucking people. Like, he's just fucking people bad. And his assistant's like, but that's not good. And he's like, just sell it, you idiot. And he yells at him. And well, he doesn't yell at him, but he's like, we're here to do this. Now listen to me. Now sell all the stock. And then he goes home, and it's his daughter's birthday, and he brings her home a Wii, and she already has a Wii that he gave her for Children's Day, I think she said, or something like that, for Children's Day, because he's never there around. She's basically being raised by her grandmother, which is his mother. And it's like her birthday, and like the dad fucking skedadded, didn't show up to her like singing recital, and she's like singing the song, and she just like fucks. She goes, Dad's not here, and she stops singing, which is so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking because this little girl, and it's like it's a trope that's in a lot of movies that, you know,
but
these absentee parents
is really good at choking. Like, she had that like baby like sad face where it's just like, oh my God, stop, just stop, please, no.
You're making me cry in real life. Because you're like this devastated child because your dad's a dick and you can't see your mother. So it's her birthday, and all she wants is to go see her mother. So the dad's like, whatever, you can't do it by yourself. So he's like, oh fine, I'll take her. So he takes her to the train station, and while this is happening, this is like when the zombie thing's happening, but nobody knows it yet. So they get on a train, and they kind of throw you because there's this homeless dude who gets on the train, so they kind of make you think that that's a zombie, but it's really this woman who's been bitten.
Wicked fake out too.
Yeah,
because it puts your morals to the test. Yeah, as well as it's revealing the morals of the characters. It puts your moral code to the test in its reveal.
because
good.
this guy's like dirty looking and
Yeah.
scummy looking because he's homeless, and you go, oh, so that must be the zombie. Nope, he's just a guy trying to get away
Exactly.
from it. And
Good deception. It was great. I love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the only like there's honestly only like two things that I didn't like about this movie, but it's again because of the we're from North America and the disconnect type thing. But
Yeah.
the scenes that they were trying to make a little more dramatic, they all of a sudden ramped up the cheese music and like the zoom out stuff, and that's like obviously just like the tropes that they're used to over there and stuff, and it felt like very soap opera-y in those like things, and it just of the whole tone of the movie and everything, those are the only things that just like stood out like a sore thumb to me, because even the music didn't go along with how good they were doing with the rest of it. But that's the weird, that's a foreign part of the foreign films, I guess. Everything else didn't.
It's a thing that's a little weird oddity that you're not used to, because none of our horror films really get like over the top like that. Like most of them
it's
don't.
Just a style thing, right? Because it's just that's it. It's just a choice of how it's edited in the music and the way it's presented, right? That scene over here would have been presented in a completely different way, but that's just what I'm used to. So it's not a fault of the movie whatsoever. I'm just pointing out something that,
it would be like slow, like really like drawn back dramatic music here instead of like, what you're talking about. So, they get on this train, they're going, and this woman's like in this compartment, and one of the women who work on the train finds her, and she's like, oh, she's trying to get help, and she's sitting there, and it's like, it's a really good scene, because like then the woman, she thinks she dies, and she's sitting there, and like the zombie gets up behind her, and it's a really good reveal with like what is how they do it with that.
I loved what they did with the zombies, because they didn't go over top with prosthetics or anything. It's just like when you turn, like these are fresh. They're fresh zombies, right? So they did it right.
Yeah, their cloudy eyes is their big thing.
And it's
real cloudy eyes.
It works so well.
Yeah. Well, and it goes with, you were talking about before, it goes with the rules of the fucking world. So their eyesight sucks. They can see things, but it sucks because when they go into the dark, they can't see shit because they got like cataracts, right? Yeah. And it's like, it's those little details you go, oh shit, that's so good, because that first time you get into the fucking the tunnels, because you're going through these tunnels. I was
just like, but then that's where I felt like the writers and the creators of this movie, they were worried about stuff that video game creators will worry about. Like, you're building this world, but you're also building rules for them to get around. And this train is essentially a level in a game. And the more the story goes along, the more it reveals to the characters how to get through this maze, which is essentially a level to a game. So that's why I think the train almost added to the feel of it feeling more like a video game to me, which, again, worked for it to me.
Yeah. So, like, this happens, the zombies start breaking out, and it's like pretty much chaos, and you're starting to meet the characters. My favorite character in the whole movie is this guy who kind of looks like Jockey, but he's with his wife who's super pregnant, and the guy kind of seems like a dick at first, but then you go, oh shit, no, this guy's actually kind of an asshole, but he's like the most endearing character in the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
And he's actually the one who fights back harder than anyone else in this movie.
Because he was like, no, not that guy. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
So,
dude,
yeah, he's so good.
He goes all Fight Club. He starts wrapping up like this leather shit on his like wrist, and is just punching the shit out of every zombie he runs into. This dude fights harder than anyone this whole movie.
Dope.
You have the douchey businessman who is like I think he's like a bus operator, which he's the one we're talking about who's like the worst character ever in any zombie movie ever. This guy sucks. I mean, maybe he's not in the worst ever, but he's fucking shitty. And then I think the only ones, there's the baseball team that is like, there's this little side story where one of the girls likes one of the baseball players who's like, I'm too cool to like you, girl. Yeah. I'm not going to act like I want that pussy. No, but he's just like acting all cool and shit. But so they're around, and really the ones, and then the old ladies. Old ladies affect the story, but like
What were
it
they?
is.
To be honest, like they were just there to look at the camera very slowly and then
Yeah.
fuck everything up for everyone. They're just like,
Yeah.
I'm old and sitting here, and now I'm just gonna fuck everything up. And that was it. They didn't say anything.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh wait. Ah.
They kind of talked to like the father and the daughter a little bit. But yeah, it was So basically,
that was the weird part of but it's satisfying again. There's like,
it's weird because it's like it's a very simple movie, just executed so perfectly.
Yes.
They fighting the zombies off. They start going on. They're freaking out, and they just all move to a car and basically block it off. And try to sit there. The train, like they start watching the news, and like the zombie apocalypse is happening on live TV and shit like that. You go, man, this is like so close to I think what would happen with like just looking at this fucking COVID shit. And they're sitting there, and they end up eventually stopping at this train station, and the main character calls his like buddy in the military, and he's like, yeah, go over here. He's trying to get out of this like quarantine faster, and they get to this train station, and there's no one there, and they find the military, and they've all been turned. And it's one of the cooler scenes because you're sitting there, and they're getting like a bunch of the characters are like on the escalator going down, and the fast zombies start running at them.
The reveals in this movie are so well done. Like so many different times. They're just like, okay, they prey on the tension building and and just the reveals. Those are, if you do those two things well in a horror movie as well as they do, they
don't show you stuff until they need to show it to you, and it has that impact, right? Which is,
and it's not even a jump scare. It's just like, it's like
I don't know if were there any jump scares in this movie. Like
there's a couple, but like it's just I don't know.
Yeah, so they realize that all the fucking zombies, like the military are zombies, and so they all go back to the train, and it's this whole fucking scene. I mean, the whole movie is real tense, but like they end up like fighting off zombies, and the dad almost gets eaten, and one of the kids like throws something at one of the zombies, and the baseball team's trying to get back on, and basically the whole baseball team gets eaten at this point, besides like the one kid and his girlfriend. And this is the scene with the zombies, like his arms like broken behind his head and just like running straight at him, and you're like, man, I'm amazed he's running that well, like with his arm just like
the hero zombies they had were really good, because like you have to have like boss zombies that come out and like stand out and like take center stage for a sec and stuff, and like all the hero zombies that they had, they didn't look like Greg Nicotero zombies, and I think that's why I loved them so much. They didn't look like 28 Days Later. Well, kind of, because like 28 Days Later zombies were cool too, because I feel like we're a little more, well, I don't know, they were a little more vicious, but
these ones don't fuck around, man. Like this is the first time that was swarming of the zombies we were talking about. Like, so they're all trying to get back on the train, and the fucking zombies push through this glass window like above the train, and they just start fucking raining down, and it's horrifying. It is horrifying because they're raining down and falling 15, 20, 25, 30 feet, and then getting right the fuck back up, and they're running like Usain Bolt at motherfuckers again, like running full speed at people. And it is so well done because it's like, shit, you think about it. You think about what would happen if you had a whole fucking swarm of zombies coming at you, like, or coming. This is the kind of shit that would happen. They would be falling off of shit. They would be like doing whatever they can because they just want to fucking eat. And they're just raining fucking zombies down. Like I talked about them falling off the helicopter earlier, but they just start swarming out, and it's so effective at showing, man, These things are just
It's straight
title.
urge. It's
Yeah.
urge, the entire thing.
Yeah.
But that's what it's done so well. And other zombie movies, there's just like, and then they go in a new direction. There's no like urgency behind their muscles or whatever, right? And these, it's just nothing but power and urgency behind every step. It's rah! That's scarier than anything.
Yeah, it's just pure rage. Yeah. Well, so they get back on the train, like a tiny percentage of what started. They get back on this train, and this is where they get separated. Like it's like the pregnant wife and the daughter, right, and like the grandmas or something like I don't know, like whatever it is. Like part of the crew is like stuck, like 6 trains back, right, or 6 cars back in this train.
That's what works so well too. Well,
yeah.
Did you see Snowpiercer?
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
But Snowpiercer is so fucking another South Korean movie, dude.
Yep.
It's like made in America, like in collaboration. But the guy did that he was the one who did Parasite.
Yeah.
Which I fucking love.
Parasite's the best movie like that's been made in the last like 10 years, right? So
yeah. So they set up the situation. You're talking about video game levels. This is video game level where they're like they have to go through these 6 cars with zombies, and they don't have anything. They're like using a baseball bat and like shit like that, and just like punching zombies. They're not even killing it. Like I said, they're not killing them. They're just getting them out of their way because they have to
Left
save
4
the
Dead
fucking
2.
people. Yeah,
seriously, with your homies.
yeah. And they get to them, and then like the douchebag pack mentality, like you were talking about. They go, no, you can't be here. You might be infected. And this is all led by this fucking douchebag business dude we were talking about earlier.
I hate
and he's like,
that
no,
guy.
he's like the one telling him. He's like, no, you can't be here. And so they push them all out. And so I brought up the old ladies because this is where the old ladies really come in. One of the old ladies was like stuck with the daughter and whatever, the pregnant lady, and she gets eaten. And the other one's like so devastated that she's in there with the douchebag and everyone else, and she's like, okay, fuck this, and she just opens the car and lets all the zombies in with them.
That was
like,
I loved that because because we're with the other characters, like we're not with like we don't see eye to eye with them. Like that's what the filmmakers obviously choosing to show as well. So we're in with the other characters. We're the outcasts now, and then boom, the satisfaction of seeing like, now let us into the closet, please.
Yeah.
No, we just shunned you there. Fucking let us in.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah. Well, but unfortunately, the old business guy dude who kicked him out survives. They're almost
Tannen.
They almost get to Busan, and then like everything's fucked up, right? Like their train crashes, right? Is this when the train crashes? But they get stuck.
The train conductor sees that there's smoke and slams on the brakes.
Oh yeah,
and then he's like, "Fuck! I'm gonna go over to track 3. If you guys can get there, I'm gonna be there. So bye." And he runs and gets this train ready on track 3, and tries to, and he gets it done, and he's on his way out, and he sees the fucking businessman. He's like, "Oh shit, I'll come and help you," and he goes to save the businessman, and now the train conductor's fucking dead, and that's shitty dude. Like I was. He
starts throwing people. He starts throwing people to zombies. He's like, "Hey, here you go. I'm gonna throw this dude at the zombies." He's like,
"Come help me, man. Come help." Well, fuck you. Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Like, have fun being eaten by that zombie. Like,
and you know what, dude? You know why it's horrifying? Because look at it. We see how people are reacting to this and COVID in 2020 when we're recording this, and you go, "Oh, there would definitely be someone doing this shit." And you go, like someone that would be pulling all this, and you go, "Fuck." And
wearing a Make America Great Again hat too.
Yup. And the best, like, and then what we have left of the survivors are trying to get to this train, and it's more of these really tense scenes when they take this open train yard and make it claustrophobic, which is crazy, and they do it so well because they're like getting stuck in between trains that are fucked up. And like
every train car is just filled with zombies against the window. Like so the backgrounds like so oh my god. Like I can't love this movie more, man. It's too fucking good.
Yeah. So it ends up being basically everyone gets eaten at this point, and mostly because of the business dude, because he's a giant douchebag. And the daughter, the dad, and the pregnant lady are the only ones who end up making it. And like you were talking about the zombies being in there, like the homeless guy was still around. Like he ended up like helping him out more than most at this point, right? Like he was one of the guys that was like fighting with him and actually doing what was right and trying to survive. And he ends up being the one that's like, you know, like holding back. Like it's the same thing. The jockey guy that I was talking about, he died earlier on the train when the whole like they were merging and trying to get their party back together. And like he gets bitten and he's just like, okay. And he's like, go get out of here. And he's like just fighting. And that guy would like, my favorite thing he would do, he would just pick up zombies and just like chuck them like he was in WWE, like he's professional wrestling, you know? He's just like chucking zombies everywhere. And he's like picking up zombies and just like blocking doorways with them and shit. And that guy was the best character. But
100%. You can't help but love him. There's so many, but I love movies on trains. I just realized, like even like Source Code, that movie's fucking great. I'm looking back, like anytime there's a train for some reason, nah, not every time.
No, that shitty Clint Eastwood movie that just came out wasn't supposedly very good. The one about the hijacking of the train in Paris or whatever. I forget. I don't even know what it was called, but I never saw it because I heard it was not great. But like when the homeless guy is getting like he ends up getting mauled by the zombies breaking.
He was a rad character in the end. You just like, yeah, he was super helpful. He was doofy, obviously, but like he ended up being super helpful and like genuine. And you're just like, oh no, not him. You know, like
with little dialogue, but he's just there and his expressions on his face.
But that's what this movie did so well, is set up characters that you just can't help but fucking fall in love with and not want to die. And the way they set up these characters, like even the ones you don't like, you still like, you get enough of their backstory and enough of like what they're attempting to accomplish as a character and stuff. And it's enough for you to be like, oh, I'm on board with that, what that character's trying to do. Like, or, you know, I like that guy. I like that, you know? So all these characters in this movie, I ended up like, I don't know, that it's not easy to do.
Yeah. Well, dude, like the one of the best storylines that runs through the movie, that like most of the movie, is like the jockey dude is like with his pregnant wife. She goes, he's too lazy to name our baby because he didn't name the baby. And at the very end, when he like gets bitten and like his telling his wife to get away, he's like, yeah, this is the name. And he's just like, that's when I teared up at that point, because it's like the whole like he's doing this and he loves his wife, but this is for their child, and this is for them to like to be able to get. It's for their child, and he wants her to go raise the child and get a lot, but survive. Yeah, then that's like my favorite moment of the movie. But yeah, so
I don't know, the last scene where they're just it was so powerful because like it sheds everything down to exactly what it is. Like it's just like vulnerable at its core. They're just walking completely towards like gun. Like
we'll get to here. Look, we'll get there. We're almost there then. So yeah, basically the they get to the train, but it's only the dad, his daughter, and the pregnant woman. Like that's the only ones that made it. And the train's like going, right? And so they get on the train while it's like starting to go, and the only person on the train is the business dude.
Fucking Newman.
And yeah, it's Newman from Jurassic Park. Yeah. And he's turning, and he's a giant, like it's actually like one of the things you go, you hate this guy, but then he goes, but I live with my mom and I'm trying to like it's like he becomes a child, and like he's not like a one note character. He's dying and he has this vulnerable thing, and you go, fuck, you even feel bad for him.
Yeah, I know.
Like in that second, even though he sucks real bad, and you're like, God damn it. And
he's a stubborn child that's too big and too stubborn, and is like Like, oh my God.
Yeah. So they end up fighting, and the dad ends up getting bitten, and he throws the dude off who turned, and then he's like, he takes the pregnant lady and his daughter into the thing, and they go, when you get to where you need to, he shows him where the break is, and then he fucking chucks himself off the trains to protect his daughter and this other woman. Is like so powerful because it's just done with a shadow too.
Yeah,
Like they
I
just
know.
show his shadow
But
sitting on the edge of the train.
that's where the like class of this movie is shown, like, because they play this fine line with like it's a horror movie, but they the score and the choice of lenses and just how cinematic this movie and package is put together, you have to have a certain level of class, and that's where the drama aspect and like class shows, when it's just to the shadow and it lets you and the emotions set in and everything.
It's like I said, I think it's like what I said before. It's they show what they need to show, or what makes the most impact on you. So the lady and the daughter end up stopping, and they wander down the track, and you see the cops or the military, and they're sitting there at a barricade, and they're like, they see the two walking, and they're like calling out to them, and they can't hear them or something, and they're like, should I kill him? And then the daughter starts singing the song from her recital that you just saw on the videotape, like that the dad watched because he wasn't there, and the grandmother had recorded it. And she sings the whole song, and she's crying.
Oh my God,
the entire time.
I just was like,
yeah, because like the dad had told her that like it's worse to quit than to not get through with something. It's like way worse, and she at that point is like, has grown through everything, and she's fucked up, and she's gone through all this, but man, she's trying to be strong for her dad who just sacrificed himself for her. And it's like, I'm gonna cry real bad. And so those two get it. I mean, like make it out, but it's like, I mean, how long are they gonna be like this? Like,
well, there's a second movie now, so we know that there's gonna, like, I don't know who they follow. I hope they don't do like a Fear the Walking Dead bullshit thing. All of a sudden it's like, here's some, I don't know, man. I'm so done with that whole universe. I don't.
Yeah. So one thing I'm going to kind of talk about, like, before we wrap up, I mean, we've been going, but like, I think that like every character in this movie has some kind of arc, and the main character is, like I talked about, the daughter says at some point, mommy left because you only care about yourself. And this guy has these little learning moments, or these little growing moments throughout the movie, and he could be the other guy, like the guy, the business dude who fucks everyone over. He could be that, but this guy like learns and like tries to fight for people during this really shitty situation, and you go, this guy might be like really, he was really into his job, but God, he loves his daughter, and you think he loves his ex-wife, but like you don't know because they don't interact. There's a one phone call between them at one point, and you go, fuck, man, this dude is. You see him, and then he sacrifices himself at the end. He throws himself off the train. He's not a coward. He's not like, he goes, I'm fucked. Because the zombie, you get bitten by a zombie in this thing, you got 2 minutes at the most. You don't have very long. And man,
that's
it is
again why this movie is like, you are fucked. This universe and these zombies are so vicious, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch the second one because I this is the universe that I want to see more in than The Walking Dead and all that.
Yeah. Dude, it's I'll say it. So when the Dawn of the Dead movie remake
that was so
came
good
out,
too.
Yeah, it's the thing where you go, that whole making zombies run. You could do slow moving zombies being terrifying, but man, it's the whole like,
you're fucked.
The primal instinct of human beings is to run away from things like that are like dangerous, right? And when the thing could chase you down, like think about it, like even Jason Voorhees. Jason doesn't run after like what, 3 he runs a little bit in. Like, it's like he just stalks people. But when things can run after you that are trying to kill you, fuck. It's horrifying. And these things are just pure carnage. They're pure murder. They have nothing matters to them besides eating, right? That's all that matters. It's like the animal parts of the human brain running a brain, like, running a person. But man, yeah, it shows you that you can take any horror subject, maybe not any horrors, because you could take horror and like just execute it perfect, and you could still make a movie that is just so well made, and like acting and directing and score, and do a fucking fantastic movie, right? So,
well, he directed a whole bunch of anime before, so he must just be really good at storytelling, because he definitely gets it. But it's the execution though too. Like every aspect of this movie was just executed, so fucking well. Like, I don't know, man.
So he's doing a TV series in Korea that I almost thought was Hellraiser for a second. It's called Hellbound. But yeah, and he did the sequel, so like the quality level is just like should be up there, right?
Train to Busan presents.
Yeah. Oh man, IMDb score isn't as good on this one. But I still want to see it. Yeah, so this movie is, I think, out of the last like 20 years, I think of things like 28 Days Later.
Yep.
I think of this movie, and I think of Zack Snyder. I bust that dude's balls, but he can do visual stuff, and like when he has a story to follow, the man can direct. Like when he's given a guideline. When they let him write and come up with stories himself, the guy is fucking clueless. I mean, fucking clueless. Like,
but
Martha is like one of my least favorite things that's ever happened in cinema.
His visual like 300.
Yeah, he can't tell. He can't tell an original story to save his fucking life. Is his problem?
His visuals,
and yeah. Yeah, but man, if you haven't seen this and you like zombie movies and shit, I think even if you don't like zombie, you just like horror.
Just fucking watch this movie. Watch it. Why aren't you watching it right now?
Watching it.
Hey,
Amazon Prime.
Are you watching this? Watch it now.
I mean, we're almost done, but listen to the rest of this podcast.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, don't turn this off yet. Wait, no.
And then while you're listening, you can do something else, though. You can go write us a 5-star review on iTunes. You can do that. We're cool with that. Also,
that works?
I mean, hopefully. People can go write us 5-star reviews.
Okay, do that.
I'm cool with that.
Okay, first, write a review. Oh, wait, no. First, listen to this. No, I'm just kidding.
Finish up everything. Yeah, so we dude, yeah, this movie is fantastic, and dude, I'm having a blast getting you to get into these things, because I really, really do enjoy foreign horror and Korean, and there's some stuff I also want to do here, and this stuff has been we're not like we're getting up and going, so we're not like doing full on themes of shit yet, right? But like there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff I think we could do, and I think that I just think that what we're doing is unique enough in this scene that's cool, right? Like there's a lot of horror podcasts on our network that are doing awesome stuff, but I just like us being able to do this stuff. I think that is completely underrepresented in our community. I just want to point stuff out that I really, really love. So,
I just love horror, man. If it's done well, like that's my genre. Like I appreciate it on a whole nother level than other movies. And I don't know, like, because I feel like the art that is filmmaking is like, I'm a DIY guy for every aspect of my life. Like I've always been a DIY. I don't know if it's like the drumming aspect of my life or just everything. To me, I can like hear like, but I can do the same with like seeing stuff. Like I see it,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, I want to know how to make stuff like that, and like
Yeah.
that's what I think the art of movies in horror, and especially indie, and like you can see through it a little bit more and see like how it was put together, and I kind of like that a little more, because it's like it's not the polished package that Hollywood has and all the dollars, but it's pretty fucking close, and they had no money at all, and that impresses me way more than a huge fucking, you know, however millions of dollars was spent on a movie. And it, like in horror, that's why you don't need the budgets as much, because no names and all that, like I think add to horror movies, right? So I don't know, I just love horror. I love talking about horror, and
dude,
I would love to make a horror movie very, very soon too,
dude. Yep. And I think you would kick ass at it. So
why?
Because I love your mind. I love talking this stuff about you, and I love how you see stuff. So, dude, this has actually been like, this whole process with you has been more fun than I even thought it was going to be. Like, it's been so much fun doing this weekly. So it's been a blast. So, dude,
fuck yeah.
Are we doing Train to Busan 2 next week, or do we split it up and do something new?
Let's do something new.
Okay, cool. We'll figure it out. We'll tweet it out or put it on our Discord.
Or I might just watch that movie that you just watched, and we'll do watch with your wife week.
We could do that too. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Because I would love to watch.
I really,
so.
It's more casual. Like, again, it's got that PG-13 thing, but
okay.
Shit, man. One of my some of my favorite horror of all time has that like Gremlins is one of my favorite movies ever. I love Gremlins. I mean, I have a French bulldog named Gizmo, so like that kind of stuff can be. And then Jaws, like Jaws is fucking.
There was a time where PG-13 horror for like almost a decade was the only way you were allowed to release horror. Yeah. It's not until more recently that horror is now, oh, you can actually make good horror, and oh, you can actually make R-rated horror, and it's going to make money. So people are, or I guess Hollywood is finally understanding. I guess that horror as a genre isn't just this little niche in the back. It's a huge thing and can be utilized in a lot of different ways.
Dude, and we had a lot, even like the last 5 years, there was a lot of that shit PG-13 shitted directly into theater, bad horror, like Slender Man and shit like that.
I didn't even see it, man.
You know,
like well, and like that X-Men movie, the New Mutants or whatever, like it got shelved for like 2 years, a bunch of
3.
Yeah, 2-3 years. Like, it's so stupid. Like, and then it's still how many re-edits and recut, and it's still shit. Like, I didn't see it, but like that sucks, man. That sucks to hear about.
Well, dude, it's one of those. It's the thing, man. There are a lot of people who make movies. You would think that most people who make movies do it because they love movies, and which is awesome. But man, that's not all that's involved in the process.
No,
movies cost so much money to make that like a bunch of people get involved that just want to make money and don't give a fuck about movies. And
that's why I love indie movies so much, because everyone involved is like they're
passionate.
It's 100% passion behind it, and like man, it's a blast to watch those movies, especially when they're really good, and you're just like, oh man, you guys figured it out. You got the puzzle pieces now, you know? Like I get more excited to see like indie things. Like A24 was an indie thing too, right? They had a package that they wanted. Now they're, you know, it's become this big thing that style, right? The A24 style, right?
Yeah, I mean, now it's where I see A24 on a horror movie and I go, this is probably going to be entertaining at least.
100%, right? Yeah.
So they've made some stinkers, but like most of their movies have been at least entertaining. So,
but I love that though, because like you see that, and I watch a lot of weird, obscure, very underground stuff that's straight to DVD stuff, like horror movies and stuff. But it's just like, oh, I know that guy from YouTube or something, right? Like I've been like a friend with him on YouTube forever, and he's just in like every crappy B horror movie that comes, like every single one. But that's funny, and I love that, and I love watching those movies too, right? So it's
yeah, dude, man, it's a blast. Okay, we can do Love and Monsters then if you want for next week. Which again, it's the light on horror aspects, but the movie was so entertaining. I'm more than willing to talk about it, just because of what you see, the horror elements in this bigger budget movie. And I don't even think they spent that much money on it, but like
the poster looks nice and looks expensive.
Yeah. Well, the monster effects that are in the movie are cool. So,
well, I know on Saturday on Halloween, we will be watching Trick or Treat because we do every year. I think this is honestly our 8th year consecutively that we will be putting on Trick or Treat. Yeah, dude. Like,
right after we did our Halloween Essentials episode, I watched Trick or Treat because of you. So I've already watched it again this year because of you. So,
that movie is like, I don't know, like it has nostalgia for me now, but it brings back so many awesome memories that I brought up with the just Calgary Underground Film Festival and everything. Yeah. But just the whole aesthetic of that movie, it makes me feel like I'm home. And because we've made it into this ritual that we do every year, it's again like a warm hug almost. I put it on, I'm just like, what's
those little things? It's little like traditions can be real cool. My wife and I don't know if we did it last year, but we have hit a long streak where we watch Shrek on Christmas.
Nice.
Which is like just something that we started doing and we've done it. So like those traditions could just make you feel like they can make you feel good at that time of year. So
I love it.
Okay, dude. Again, I'm glad you really like Train to Busan. That movie's fucking dope. So go watch it, motherfuckers.
I got up and was just like, fuck yeah. Like, you don't feel that good after watching it. Well, even though I was crying and stuff, I was still like, man, that was so good.
Okay, well, tell everyone where they could find you, Mr. Josh.
Twitter, just Josh WRB. I'm Josh WRB everywhere.
Yep, you are. And I am Rod_Johnson on Twitter and Twitch. So those are my things that I'm on a lot. And come join our Discord, discord.me/murdermoose.
How'd you get a .me?
Our Twitter is Moose Murder Pod. I think.
Actually, we have a website, and all these episodes do go on it. We just need to get rid of the lorem ipsum.
Yep. So we will be there, and we're all over the place. So thank you for listening. Thank you for the fucking Slash and Cast podcast network has been dope.
Hell yeah.
Opened welcomed us with their open arms, and you guys fucking rock. So everyone listening, and make sure go give us a 5-star review on iTunes because that would be dope. I don't know if we've gotten any yet. I haven't actually checked, but that would be dope. I love all your faces. Thank you for listening. And we will catch you next week for Love and Monsters.
I love all your
Have
ears.
a good one, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.